Hello, I'm going to give you a 5-minute introduction to use of the Tempo report writer, which is used to create reports with the Tempo Cable Scout TV90E or CS90 products. On a Microsoft computer, visit the Microsoft Store and search for Tempo report writer, and you should be able to install this. Maybe your IT has restrictions, you'll have to check with them on that, but this is where you get it from. Once you have it installed and you open it, the first time you open it, you will see a window look like this with 3 main windows, some tooltips on the screen, and I'll leave those there for a minute so you can have a look at them. But first thing you've got to do really is to load a trace, and this is done using this icon here. And you'll load it from the SD card or the USB drive that you've brought in from the unit and open the trace that you want. Now this is a small trace, a small detailed area on a cable, and you can see it's put a sort of end of cable marker automatically on there, and we can open another trace. We can overlay more than one, and I actually took a second one that showed the full extent of the cable. So we have the end of cable, we have these events, and the whole length of cable in between. Now to use this tool, if you're familiar with the Cable Scout, you'll know that we have an overview window in the bottom left and a detail window in the upper section of the screen, and we've kept exactly the same sort of philosophy for the PC software. And you can use the touch screen to pinch and zoom if you have a touchscreen Windows computer. In this case I'm using a mouse, so I'm just going to hover my mouse over the detail window in this case, and I'm going to scroll, and that will zoom in, and I can then drag the window of interest over to the area where there are things happening on the screen. Now one of the things you can actually do here is adjust the traces. These were taken at different times of the same cable, but the zero reference is obviously off by a small fraction of a second. And we can align those. So we can take the purple trace, for instance, and align it with the brown trace, like so. So it's 1.2 nanoseconds difference. So I've just been aligning according to this event here. And there's our end of cable event. Now, one of the things we can do, we can actually put, I'm going to hide these tooltips now. You can either click on them to get them out of the way, or you can hide them all from there or re-show them again afterwards. But what I want to do is put another marker in here. So what I will do, I will put my cursor where I want the marker, and I'll just right click, and it's added another marker. It's added it to the trace that I currently have selected as well. That's important to remember. So it'll come up in that color. It mostly doesn't matter, especially when you're comparing one against another. But what I can actually do now is I can take the dimensions, for instance, between this end of cable and this one. So this is the one I added. I can turn it on as dimensioned, and I can take the end one and turn that one as dimensioned, and it now adds a dimension to the screen report. If I wanted to, that's pretty much it. But I might want to actually show the whole trace when I'm generating my report. So again, I can zoom back out and then readjust the display. Move my mouse too fast. Zoom back in a little. There we go. And drag this across. And there we are. This is the sort of display I want. I want to show the launch of the pulse and the actual area of interest about 100 meters away. We can then create a PDF report. So in the project notes, I can give it the job number and maybe the technician's reference. So it's Dave Jones or whoever. In the header, I've already pre-populated that with a company header and footer. And we just simply create a PDF file, and this will go by default into your normal documents folder, like so, which I can then open and show you the actual report. So here's the actual PDF version of that report that we've created. We've got the same view overall, with the same highlighted dimension. We've got the job number and header. We've got the details of the 2 traces that were used and the footer. And that is Tempo Report Writer. If you have any questions, please contact us at tempocom.com.